What's happening, YouTube? This is your boy AG the God. A little under the weather, but being with what's going on, I have to, give my thoughts on where my favorite company should go. As a diehard Capcom fan, I played just about everything Capcom. It is my favorite publisher, and they have some of my most treasured titles and series that belong to this particular publisher. Oh man, I could go on for days. Mega Man, Street Fighter, Fighting Rivals. Oh man, it's just, not to mention Resident Evil. Can't leave Resident Evil out. Onimusha. There's just so much to offer with Capcom. With that being said, where should Capcom go? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want it to go to Nintendo. I don't want it to go to Sony, and I don't want it to go to Microsoft. If anything, I'm hoping Sega will buy them. You need a third-party publisher to buy Capcom out. Otherwise, two consoles are gonna lose regardless. If one buys it, two of them are gonna lose out, and then Capcom titles will become niche and not mainstream like they are. I don't want a niche Capcom. I want a mainstream Capcom. And as for third parties, I don't want them to go to EA. I definitely don't want them to go to Activision. I don't want to Street Fighter every fucking year. But only one I trust really, Sega. They got the clout, got the history, and as of right now, they don't own a console, so they can push it out to everybody. That is the feel-free pick right there. That's the feel-free pick. But if it doesn't go to a third party, who do I think really could afford it and really do them justice? I would say right now it's between Nintendo and Microsoft, because those are the only ones that really have that financial backing to bring the plethora of IPs that Capcom has out. I don't want DLC characters, which makes me scared of Microsoft since they already did that to Conquer, but at the same time they could push out Street Fighter, Another Dead Rise, and Resident Evil, no problem. Nintendo definitely can do it, but I don't really think it's in Nintendo's budget to really push that many IPs out. So Capcom, you are getting a massive amount of IPs. When I tell you massive, I mean massive. There are so many IPs, even Capcom gets what they got. Real talk, even Capcom can't remember how many IPs they got. Though, out of those two, that was my pick. Why you say I didn't pick Sony? Because, man, let's just be real. Sony doesn't have money right now. As you can clearly see from the way they're pushing it, they depended more on indies and less first party exclusives, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's no room for these IPs to even make it to the shelf with Capcom, as far as Capcom goes. So those two, it's between Microsoft and Nintendo. If I was to have that happen, which I really don't, I want the third party to get it, but damn if I want EA or Activision at it. That would just ruin every fucking IP they have. Alright. Now let's say that instead they just buy IPs out, fire sale, like they did with THQ probably 2 years ago. Where would I want these titles to go? First off, I would like to see Sony buy Street Fighter. Either Sony or Microsoft. As far as Mega Man, Nintendo. Resident Evil, you can get that in Microsoft. But really, and Dead Rising definitely should go to Microsoft since it already is. Really and truly, if you think about it, the two companies that's been bankrolling Capcom into getting their games and, you know, letting their characters shine has been Microsoft and Nintendo. So really, you could give all the IPs to them. Just split it up, fire sale. But those are just my thoughts, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm just speaking my mind, you know what I mean? And Capcom is near and dear to my heart as far as a gamer, because I was playing Capcom games since early Nintendo. I remember the first one I played was Ghosts and Goblins. So Capcom is real near and dear to my heart, and I don't want to see it get fucked up. And if that means the guys with the big bankrolls got to do Capcom justice, and so be it. Let the bankroll roll, you know what I mean? But I want to see is Capcom still making games in 2015, 16 and onward. You think about all the great companies that have gone, and quite frankly, Capcom goes, it'll be a sad, sad day in gaming in general. So let's save Capcom. Whoever's got the big pockets, go ahead and line Capcom up with them and do what we need to do to keep these IPs and these games rolling. So this is your boy AG the Guy. Remember to keep it 100, keep it real with yourself, and either Microsoft and Nintendo, do what y'all got to do, man. Don't pass us up. You will fail the gamers if you don't purchase this, because you, as of right now, you're the only people who really have the money and probably the focus. And Microsoft can spend so much on exclusive and first content, they can damn sure buy my Capcom. So it is what it is. But I holla.